Awakening with Brahma Kumaris. Namaskar. Welcome again to Awakening with Brahma Kumaris. Welcome, Sister Shivani, to Soul Connections.
Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
We've spoken about healing ourselves, and before healing, understanding ourselves, finding ourselves, who am I, what is my role in relationships. And finally, we have understood that we have to, first of all, heal ourselves before healing others, and also healing any kind of a relationship. And in the last episode, I had requested you that we must speak on parent-child relationship in this episode, because today the parent-child relationship is not very, very clear, either because of there's so many reasons.
The other day, I was in a program and it was an interactive session, and the topic was facing challenges in present times. And everybody took 1 minute of silence to introspect on what are the challenges in their present life. And then when they were asked, there was this young lady who just got up and she said, parenting.
Yeah?
Parenting. And I was a little surprised, and I said, parenting? And a challenge. And that came on the top of her priority list. That was the first challenge.
And nobody objected to that?
No, forget nobody objected. I saw so many people nodding then with her. Because I was surprised, I said, parenting? And there's so many people around, they said, yes, of course.
Probably they don't know the meaning of challenge. How can parenting be challenge?
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. People yearn to have a child. They want to have be parents, and they would love, they enjoy seeing the growth of a child.
Yes, they definitely do.
Then?
But it is becoming tough today. They are finding it tough.
Why?
Again, it's not about the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship is the same. The beauty of that relationship is the same. But the ones who are experiencing that relationship, if they have become slightly weaker, then the same relationship will seem a challenge.
Like you said earlier, that your soul becomes weaker?
Yeah, because the relationship is the same. It's the same very beautiful relationship. But probably the individuals who are creating and expressing and experiencing that relationship, if they've become weaker, then the same relationship which was natural becomes a challenge.
I did not understand the meaning of who's becoming weaker and what is the meaning of weak.
Let's look at it at a physical level. Again, let's go back to my chair. For me, lifting this chair today is very easy. I can probably lift it with one hand and walk across this whole passage. And it'll come most naturally to me. I wouldn't even realize that I'm making any kind of effort. So I'll just lift it with one hand and just walk across. 6 months down the line, if I've not been taking care of the body and it's been fallen ill a couple of times, lost weight, become weaker, and after 6 months I'm again here, and now I try to lift the same chair, and now even if I'm using both my hands to lift the chair, it's paining. My shoulders started paining.
So naturally it's become a challenge now.
Now it's become a challenge. Now forget it being natural, even after putting in effort, it's hurting. And my neck, my shoulder, my back, everything seems to hurt. With the same chair, which 6 months back was like one hand and walk off. So it's not the chair which is a problem,
But
the one who's lifting the chair has become weaker.
so the souls, the parents here, they become weaker.
And probably also the children.
The souls who are coming in.
The relationship,
Newborn child can be a weak soul.
When we understand on a spiritual perspective, and we understand a child, when we say child, it's just a costume is a child. The being in the costume is a soul. So we say human being, which is soul plus body. Now when I look at the body, it's a little baby. But when I see the soul, how old is the soul?
Years and years and years and years.
Years and years and years and years and
So many
years.
births.
So now when I look at a child, I didn't say little baby, I say an old soul in a new costume. But how old is the soul? Don't know. And that
Costume is new.
costume is new.
That's not weak.
It's like your shirt is new, but you're old. If your shirt is 1 month old, you're not 1 month old.
Many months.
Many years. And similarly the soul, many, 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 many years. Now, if I look at a person who is today, let's say, 80 years old, is probably suffering from depression, is a very hot-tempered person, reacts very easily, gets agitated, feeling lonely, no one in the whole house is there for him, and he's left all alone the whole day. This is his personality. These are his sanskars, these are his thought patterns. And so this soul, who's right now suffering from depression, so is creating a lot of negative thoughts, gets angry, feels lonely, time to leave the body. Leaves the body, body left behind.
But
What goes with the soul? Many times when you go for a funeral, and the kind of conversation that takes place at a funeral is, what have they taken with them? They came empty-handed, they've left empty-handed.
no.
Everything stays here behind. But no, it doesn't. Everything that can be seen stays here behind. The body stays behind, people stay behind, and of course, objects and possessions stay behind.
But the sanskaras of the soul, they carry.
They go with the soul.
Yeah.
Because sanskars means what? My thinking pattern. Soul is, I, the soul, creates thoughts.
What is the difference between habits, traits, sanskaras, all same?
All same, see, how the soul functions. It's energy. What does this energy do? Let's each one of us look at ourselves. I, the soul, in this body. I, when I think, we call it the mind.
Okay.
Many people say, who knows whether there's a soul? We've not seen the soul, so how do we believe there is something known as a soul? This is only spiritual talk. Science has not proved there's a soul, so how do we believe that there's something known as a soul? Okay, so let's leave aside that there's a soul. Do I have a mind?
I think.
I think. Do I need proof whether I think or no?
No.
Do I need proof whether I feel or no?
No.
No. You go to a doctor and you tell him to show you the brain. He can show you the brain,
Not the mind.
not the mind. But I've never asked anyone for proof. How do I know whether I have a mind?
People say my heart says so and so, it's in my mind, I think like this.
So they can.
So that's the soul speaking.
Yeah. Even a child knows that the child thinks. So this thinking, thoughts, is energy. It's not physical. So no one can see it, no one can show it to us, no microscope, no instrument I can use to prove the existence of the mind. And yet none of us need proof because we experience it. I, the soul, create thoughts, call it the mind. When I evaluate the thoughts, it's my intellect. And then whatever decision you've taken, you'll bring it out into action. And any action repeatedly will become your
Sanskaras.
sanskar. You can call it habit, you can call it personality trait, call it, but the beautiful Hindi word is sanskars. And so the soul is a package of these three things: thoughts, intellect, sanskars.
Man, buddhi, sanskar.
Man, buddhi, sanskar. So when I, the soul, leave the body, everything that can be seen, heard, touched, felt stays behind,
Including the body.
including the body. So it's my body and I leave it behind. But the mind, the intellect, the sanskars travels. So now coming back to the same 80-year-old person, he leaves his family behind, leaves the body behind, leaves his property behind, but he carries those sanskars of aggression, irritation, loneliness, rejection, probably pain. And now this packet with all these thinking pattern and emotions takes a new costume.
Like all the accountants can understand, carry forward,
Carry forward.
brought forward.
Perfect.
From one day, the balance sheet,
Perfect.
from one accounting year to the other. Okay.
Yes.
There's the profit, there's the loss, and here's the.
So when you
We
look
start
at
the
a
game
baby,
again.
when you look at a baby, don't think that you're starting a fresh account.
Correct. Now I understand. That's why I asked you this
Very
question.
important. Very important. Today parents are finding it very difficult to understand why are children like this?
A child being depressed. We've never heard about depression of a child before.
You know,
All these
in
things.
psychiatry, there's a specialization now, child psychiatry. Earlier, even psychiatry was not very common. It was a stigma to go to a psychiatrist.
People used to
But-
be scared to tell anybody.
Yeah,
They would say that my daughter wouldn't get married anywhere if she goes to a psychiatrist.
exactly. But today, child psychiatry. There are children who are seeing a doctor, a psychiatrist, even before they've gone to school. And why is that happening? I spoke to a doctor and I said, commonly people would say that a child is depressed because of, school and exams or something. His two-year-old child has not even gone to school yet. So there couldn't be any reason for depression. She said, child born emotionally weak.
Right? She's right. The doctor is right. Born emotionally weak because that soul left the other body emotionally weak. So it starts from the carry forward, brought forward again.
Absolutely. Now look at the relationship between two souls. Don't look at it as a relationship between parent and child. What's a relationship? A relationship, we think that, we're learning relationships as we grow up. But even when the soul is in the womb of the mother, the minute there is a soul-to-soul connect, and that's why we're saying soul connections. We're not saying parent-child connect, husband-wife connect.
Soul connections.
It's soul connections. So the minute
These two soul connect.
and it's not just these two souls, that's the mother and the child.
Mother, father, child.
Mother, father, and probably every other family member in that house who is creating thoughts for that child has already started their energy exchange. Now just try to be that soul. I left one family. I'm already in pain. Anyone who leaves the body is in pain, attachment. So with that vibration of pain, attachment, missing all those things that I've left behind, I go into this new environment,
New home.
new home, new set of people, and new set of soul connections. But are these souls ready for me when I go there? And it's not about the parent-child relationship as the child grows up. And it's not even parent-child relationship after the child is born. But it's the energy exchange between a soul and a soul.
While the child is in the womb.
Yes. The exchange has begun.
So that is the first relationship a child has while it is in the womb of the mother.
Absolutely.
The parent, child, and the people around.
Today what is happening is young couples are going through tremendous stress.
Why?
Work, women working, work pressure is very high, all the other pressures that they are facing. Everyone is saying stress is natural. So these two people who have thought of bringing another entity into their family are already creators of stress. And of course, if there's stress, then there's a whole other range of emotions with that. Then there's anger also, fear also, everything is there. These two souls. Now, through those months, and of course later on, but even in those months, when the soul is in the womb of the mother, one, the soul gets nourishment from the mother, but the other, the soul gets those vibrations and those emotions from the parents.
So whatever the parents go through while the child is in the womb, it matters a lot for the child.
Totally. the connection has
That
begun.
is why and how you need a child psychiatrist. Now we come back to the 2-year-old child, what you were telling again.
Absolutely.
So that is the cause.
Yes. One
Is the past
birth.
And the second is the parents' behavior and their thinking and their thoughts, how they, how they are reacting to the world and things around.
Fear, the kind of...
The biggest fear is how will we do, where will we take care of this child? Now we're living alone, then they
Very
start
perfect.
fighting.
Very perfect. Now, it's like, let's say you've invited somebody home and you've started thinking,
Where will he stay? What about the room? What about his food?
Right.
Who's going to go? Both of us will go for work.
Right.
And who's going to take care of the guest?
right, what is the vibration that will reach the guest?
Unwanted kind of a thing.
Unwanted child. This is what's happening. A lot of children feel today they were not wanted.
So they get the feeling of rejection. Many people say, I don't know, from childhood, I have a feeling of rejection. Wherever I go, people reject me.
It started there. It's very, very deep. And yet at the same time, the parents could spend their lifetime trying to tell the child that you were not an unwanted child. We loved you. I mean, we love you even
But
now.
the fear.
It's not the fear.
No,
every
when a
thought,
child.
every thought that you're creating like this is a rejection. If you're coming to my house and I'm only creating thoughts which send a message that it's tough for me to manage you. I'm having to go through too much anxiety just thinking that you're coming. Even though I love to have you at home, but
I
yet,
won't be able to give you so much of time. I won't be able to do so many things. I have to work. I have to go for my work. I have my career. My husband has his career. You'll have to, I don't know, we can't afford a nanny, and we don't no more live with our parents. Now we have a different, separate house, not a joint family.
And in this
so many
case-
things you feed in.
yeah, it's both the husband and the wife create these thoughts. So it's actually both my parents do not want me. Even though the parents will never realize. They'll say, of course we want a child. You said everyone genuinely wants to have a child.
But they can always say that this was concern.
Every negative thought, concern is pure and positive. Concern would be, I don't have this, but that's fine. I'm going to take wonderful care of my child.
I like this line because I remember years back, people never even worried, never bothered.
Not at all.
They used to say, now it's God's vision, everything is in
But
His
then
hands.
today that young couple is already under stress, na? See, again we said it's the same chair, the person lifting it has become weaker. It's not that parents earlier had lot of resources. In fact, today I think we have more resources.
But they had
than
different
parents
kind of
before.
positive thoughts that every child brings his own food, own
Fortune.
own. They used to use usually apna dana,
Yeah.
bringing in his own.
Right.
Every morsel he eats, he brings it his own destiny.
Absolutely,
He
yeah.
So every child brings his own destiny, so we
Right.
don't have to worry.
Right.
It's God. God gives the child. God will take care. So many positive things used to be there. So this kind of a 2-year-old child going to a psychiatrist, that was never even thought of.
Because the souls at that time, even 20 years before, had the natural ability to create healthy thoughts. See, when a baby is to be born, people used to take so much care of the physical health. Because the physical health of the parents means the physical health of the child. And the emotional health of the parents means the emotional health of the child. And in this case, at least in terms of the physical health, the costume is brand new. So if you take full care of the physical health, at least you'll get a very healthy body. But in the case of emotional strength, the soul coming is already coming with the past. So at least we need to take so much care.
So here, physically as it is a young new body, so
Yeah.
it doesn't need as much care as much as the emotional one.
Right.
So your first duty is to take the emotional care.
And because if you take emotional care, you yourself will be first physically healthy. See, today what's happening, parents are emotionally stressed. Because they're emotionally stressed, they're also physically weak. Today, if you go to a gynecologist, she's going to tell you how many complications people are having in having a child only because the parents are stressed. So something which was natural is become a challenge because of stress.
Gynecologist told me the other day. She was telling me that she gets so many, her own child, she was telling, her own daughter, she's not in India, she had an abortion.
Yeah.
She said stress.
Right.
She said she had a party at home, and a very big party, and she said I told her not to have a big party, and she said in the US there was no staff, nobody, she was working this and that and work and so much of stress. She said 30% are getting aborted because of...
So now we've heard of hypertension because of stress, we've heard of diabetes, we've heard of heart attacks, we've heard of cancer, arthritis, but what about a miscarriage because of stress?
That's what the doctor told me,
Yes.
talking about a few days back.
Yeah. So isn't it important? My every thought, my every feeling, how can I say I don't have time to take care of myself? So emotional health of the parents will have an effect on the physical health of the parents. So if the parent is emotionally weak, they're also going to be physically weak. And if they're emotionally and physically weak, then the child
Is weak.
emotionally and physically weak. So once we have planned and we're going through the process, we need to take care that every thought is already started, not just the relationship between me and the child, but also the actual personality development of the child. Because every thought I send, the soul is consuming that energy. Now, like you said, there are many people who say they feel rejected, but that's become a part of their personality today.
They say by birth I was rejected by my parents.
Even if they don't know that, sometimes they would know,
so
sometimes
many,
they
so
don't
many
know.
people say I've been, my parents needed a son and I was born as a daughter.
Very big thing.
So now from day one I'm rejected.
Yeah.
So now today I married twice and I've been rejected. I had so many friends who loved me. I was rejected in school. I was rejected, and now I come to spiritual classes. Look, even here my guru rejects me. So the rejection, I don't know when they create rejection.
So it's not about the other people.
No,
It's
they
their...
just imagine
No,
also
it's not
the create.
imagination. It's not imagination. Their thought pattern is only such that they will send those kind of thoughts into relationships. But it started very young. This beautiful thing that you said about the gender bias. It's not about I want a girl or I want a boy. Even to create a thought that I want a girl or I want a boy means if it's not that and it's the other one,
want this,
I don't want this. And so I've always
So you are
said,
unwanted.
unwanted. I cannot send this energy
To
that you
pure-
are unwanted.
A new soul,
To a new soul.
newborn baby.
Old soul in a new body.
No, I mean new,
Yeah, but a new entrant
new in the sense in my family.
in our
is
family.
Some new guest.
Yes. And now this becomes the responsibility of the entire family, not just the parents. Not just the parents. It's the responsibility of the entire family, whether it's the in-laws, whether it's the other brothers, sisters, whoever's staying in the house. What is the energy of that house? Are we ready to have a child in this house? Very, very important. And it is that period where the couple needs to take utmost care, avoid any kind of conflict, any kind of irritation, any kind of anger. Like at this time, a mother will take care what she eats, what she drinks. She will avoid anything which can cause any kind of infection. So she has to avoid any single thought which can cause any kind of emotional infection to herself and to the baby.
You know what I was thinking just now? I was thinking of the founder, Brahma Baba of Brahma Kumaris, who's given so much of empowerment and respect to a woman. Hats off to him. While we're talking to you, I was thinking how, so many families reject, women in the family.
Yes.
And
especially we're talking about 1936
Yeah.
when this started.
And here we are sitting in his old place where
Right.
he used to live here.
Absolutely. So at that time, women were rejected in society.
Sister, I would like to continue this in the next episode
Sure.
immediately.
Right.
Till then, a small meditation.
Let's sit back. Let me look at myself. I, the soul, playing the role of the parent. My relationship with my child begins with me. My every thought sends a message, a vibration to my child. Let me take care that my every thought is of acceptance, love, and power. Whatever may be my concerns, whatever may be the pressures, I cannot afford to create a single wrong thought, because my every thought is being consumed by the child. The child grows up consuming my vibrations. My vibrations are the emotional diet of my child. Every thought only of love and understanding. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Relationships are not a challenge, but if the souls involved in the relationship are weak, then the relationship becomes a challenge instead of being natural. A baby is an old soul in a new body who has been on a journey for many births. When a soul leaves the body, everything that can be seen is left behind, but the soul carries the sanskars created by its thinking patterns. When a soul leaves the body, it carries its sanskars of pain created during that lifetime and also created at the time of death. This is why children have sanskars of fear, anger, intolerance at a very young age. Young couples are already creators of stress before having a child. Their negative emotions travel to the child even while it is in the womb of the mother. Like the physical health of the mother is important for the physical well-being of the child, the emotional health of the parents has a deep impact on the emotional well-being of the child. If parents create thoughts of anxiety about their capacity to bring up a child or about gender preference, this sends vibrations of rejection to the child and the child feels unwanted. Tomorrow we will discuss the impact of our vibrations on our children. If you wish to discuss your problem or have a question to ask or want to know your nearest Rajyoga meditation center, call us on 099 99 744 555.
Om Shanti Om. I'm a peaceful soul. Om Shanti Om. I'm a peaceful soul. Ye Dwani Mangal Dwani hai. Om Shanti Om. This sound is a sacred sound. Om Shanti.